The Souls series is well known for its challenging yet fair gameplay, and the newest edition, Dark Souls 2, does not disappoint. The same amazing combat returns, along with beautiful environments to explore. Dark Souls 2 starts you off with just one charge in your Estus Flask, while the original had given you 5. This places much more emphasis on avoiding as much damage as possible early on within the game. You will also feel as if each charge you require is a huge boost. As an alternative to the Estus Flask, you will find other healing items such as life gems. While life gems don't heal as quickly, you aren't limited to a small amount of them as you are with your Estus Flask. In this regard, the game feels like a blend between the previous two Souls games, with life gems being similar to the healing grass from Demon Souls. Level design also feels like they had blended the two. Dark Souls 2 still features an open world as its predecessor did. However, the paths themselves are more linear worlds. The area towards the start of the game, Majula, acts as a hub world and presents 4 major paths that the player will eventually have to explore on their journey. Majula is very reminiscent of the Nexus from Demon Souls and is a safe location with several merchants and various NPCs. Dark Souls 2 saw a change in management, with the original director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, playing a much smaller role in development. As a result of this, there is a noticeably less engrossing environment. While it's by no means poorly done, the game world simply feels less fluid. Many of the bosses also feel a bit uninspired, with many large humanoids. On the flip side of this, I enjoy the gameplay much more than the previous installments. As with previous Souls entries, many different weapons and character builds are present and viable. The largest change to viability is focused around dual wielding. With the proper stats and matching weapon types, you can allow your character to go into what is called a power stance, which grants new attacks. Also, pure magic builds are much more viable now thanks to herbs which will replenish spellcasts. From the very start of the game, you are able to teleport to any bonfire that you ignite. This change allows you to explore different paths whenever you find an area too difficult. Unfortunately, there were just too many bonfires placed within the world. Because of the large amount of them, a lot of difficulty when it comes to exploration is lessened, and overall you feel much safer than you typically should. In the original reveal for Dark Souls 2, we were shown a gameplay trailer showcasing the new lighting system. In this trailer, areas were pitch black and the player was forced to light a torch to illuminate the location. Torches are still a present gameplay mechanic, but the darkness that was originally presented is no longer in the game. This makes the mechanic rather useless, and it's a real shame that the idea was removed. The Covenant system is back in Dark Souls 2, both with new ones and old favorites. You can still invade as red and blue phantoms or help people out if you are in the Warriors of Sunlight. Joining in the new Rat King Covenant allows you to summon players into your own world, forcing them to wade through traps and monsters to eventually fight you or to escape your world. The Covenant of Champions is one of the more interesting additions, making the game more difficult by increasing enemy health and damage, as well as disabling the ability to summon other players for assistance. And on the topic of summoning, it is now much easier to play with your friends. Instead of having to hope to see a friend's summon sign, both of you simply need to wear the name-engraved ring and select the same god. It is insane how much of an improvement it is over the previous installments. New Game Plus now actually changes the game up, as opposed to simply adjusting health values on enemies. Instead, enemies are added to locations in which they previously were not found. This is a huge step up, though only 2 bosses in New Game Plus are mechanically different. I feel that there was a lot more they could have done with the idea. In a future installment to the Souls series, this is something that they really need to focus on. Overall, Dark Souls 2 is close to a perfect sequel. It improves upon many of the little things, though disappoints with a lesser game world. If you enjoyed Demon Souls and Dark Souls, then you are just about guaranteed to enjoy this entry. And if you haven't played any of the Souls games, then this would be a great place to start, as it is the most accessible one yet.